I just wanted to say before I start this video is going to be about me primarily. So if you don't want to know more about me and you're one of those people that primarily come for just the tech news and the gaming stuff, then I get it and I respect that. Some people may not want to know about me. You may just want to come here for the tech stuff and the gaming news. I totally 100% understand and I'm okay with that and I respect that decision. So go ahead and close this video now before you listen to me ramble on about myself, because that's what this video is going to be about. Now this video is going to be quite long, so go ahead and get your snacks, get your drinks, get your water, get whatever you're going to get, and sit down and listen to me ramble, because I am going to be rambling quite a lot in this video. And like I said, this video might tend to be a very long video. I just want to warn you now, so just take note of that as well. I actually want to do more of these videos where I just sit down in front of the camera, and instead of talking about like technology or talking about gaming and things like that, I want to talk more about my life, talk about my life experiences, things that are going on in my life, because I don't want to be one of those people who just talk about like tech news, gaming news, or whatever my channel's based around. I want you to know the person behind the camera, and that's just my style. I get it, some people don't want to actually talk about their personal life with their own YouTube channel. They want to strictly be known for something on the web. They don't want their personal life, they don't want to put their personal life out there. And I totally get that, because that takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, not just your face, but actually what you're doing in your life or things about you. I get that, and that can be very scary, since potentially, I say potentially, a lot of people could be watching this video, and there could be people I know in real life stumble onto this video, and that can actually be quite a scary thing to think about, when potentially this is going out on the web, on a website where thousands of people can view this video. So I get it, some people may not want to put their personal life out there on the line, but for me, I don't want to be just another face on the internet talking about very generic things like technology and gaming, when a lot of people already do that. I want you to get to know me, so that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. I'm going to be talking about some things I'm recently doing and some things I'm passionate about. Now, some of these things in this video I've already talked about in different videos. I made like a get to know me video before in the past. This is not my first time doing this type of video, but maybe you're new to the channel, or maybe you're an old subscriber, but you never really stumbled onto those videos. That's why I'm also making this video. Before I start the video also, I just wanted to say one reason I don't really like smile a lot, or I'm not really like funny in my videos, I'm just more like a down-to-earth chill person, is because if you didn't know, I actually share something that a lot of other people have. I actually have social anxiety. That is right. It may not seem like that just because I do tend to talk a lot on camera, but believe me, it took a lot for me to actually put my face out there. For many years, I usually did not put my face on my YouTube channel, but then one time I just had the courage and the guts to put myself out there, and now you can see my face on my YouTube channel. If you go back to some of my old posts, it took me like literally years and years and years before I actually put my face on YouTube. That's how long it actually took me to put things up on YouTube. Now you may be asking yourself, how could I actually make videos with my face on the internet if I have social anxiety? Well, the thing is, you have to understand, I'm not really having human interaction. What I mean by that is I'm not really having a one-on-one human interaction with somebody, so it's not that hard for me to actually do this. Plus, I've been doing this now for quite some time now, where I show my face on camera, so it's not that hard for me. Sure, it has gotten better over the years, but for the most part, I still have it from day to day, and it really sucks, and it really interferes with my life that I do have social anxiety. So when you see me in real life, I'm pretty much just a down-to-earth, chill person once you get to know me. That's the problem, if you can get to know me, because, well, since I have social anxiety, it's really hard for me to talk to people and open up to people. Of course, it depends on the situation, and it depends on the person I am talking to, of course. Some people, it's going to be much more easier for me to open up to and to talk to, especially, of course, if it's somebody that I think looks really cute or somebody that looks really hot. It's hard for me to talk to them, of course. That's a lot of people's problem, not just my problem, of course. And it even goes for people who don't have social anxiety, of course. When they see someone that they think looks good or cute or whatnot, it's hard for them to talk to. It's just that mine stems to a lot of people, even guys or just even older adults, just in general, a lot of different people. But I am working on it, and that is also one reason I do YouTube and I like YouTube, because these are things I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about technology. I'm passionate about gaming, but I really can't express myself in the real world since I have social anxiety, and it's hard for me to really open up and talk to a lot of people. Sure, I have friends I can talk to, but just talking to new people or getting into groups or communities around town and things like that are just very hard for me to do. So one way to express myself is going onto internet, and through the ability of the internet, talking to people on YouTube like this through a camera, I can really express myself and really talk to other people, and that's why I love YouTube. And that's primarily one reason I actually love doing YouTube. I just love getting my my passion out there and talking about my passion to the world. And that's why I said again, is why you really don't see me like act really funny on camera. I don't really smile a lot because I'm really not used to that, and that's not really my style in the first place. I'm just a really pretty much down to earth, chill person. Now anyway, let's go ahead and start the video. That's something I just wanted to talk about if you were curious or maybe you didn't know about. But anyway, let's go ahead and start this video and talk about some things I want to talk about in this video. Now you may not know this. I've talked about this in some other videos of mine. This is not the first time I've talked about this. But if you look back on my previous YouTube videos from like 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, you can see, especially when I showed my face on camera for the first time, I was actually a chunky person. That's right. I was around 250 to 260 pounds. And for my height and my BMI, that's definitely overweight. So I was probably like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds overweight. I was a very fat person. I wouldn't say super obese, but I definitely was obese. Maybe not super obese, but I was definitely not just fat. I would primarily say I was obese for my BMI and for my height. When I was a kid, I just pretty much ate anything I wanted to. My parents weren't really strict to me. They didn't really keep me on a diet, and I pretty much ate whatever I want. As a kid, I would drink a lot of soda, of course. I would eat a lot of chips. I would eat a lot of fast food, and of course, if you continue on that path over years, you just tend to eat and eat and eat, and then of course you're gonna gain weight, and then you get obese, and that's how I got obese. I turned 250 to 260, and I was really overweight, and of course that's not healthy, and that's not really great, and that pretty much sucked for my whole life. And that kind of is a good thing I lost weight, just because when I lost weight, it kind of boosted my, got rid of some of my social anxiety. Not completely cured my social anxiety, but it kind of helped me get through some of my social anxiety, and I kind of don't have it as much as I did before, but it's pretty much still lingering above my head from time to time. But after, I think, the first time I actually tried losing weight was in 2016. I still remember the day I started my weight loss journey. I started my weight loss journey in 2016, and I started in May. I think May 6th. I'm pretty sure this is the date because I still have it stored. It's May 16th. No, not May 16th. May 6th, 2016 is when I first started losing weight. If you didn't know, even when I was fat, I loved going outside. I just loved doing activities. I'd play a lot of basketball as a kid. I would also like doing walking, running. I was just a person that was active. Believe me, I still ate a lot of food, so I really wasn't losing weight, but I just loved outdoor activities, and that's why I went outside a lot, and that's when I really started losing weight, or I wanted to lose weight, is because I was walking one day outside. This is kind of like my clicking moment to losing weight. It's not really an amazing story like some people have. Some people have these amazing stories where they come out and they're like, oh my god, this was my clicking moment, and it's an amazing clicking moment why they lost weight, but mine's not so amazing. Basically what happened was I was playing with my smartphone, and of course some of these new smartphones have these apps, like health apps, that allow you to track like how far you've walked or how many steps you've taken for the day. And I was playing with this because I always loved walking, and I walk quite far a lot of times, still eating badly, so of course I'm not going to lose weight, but I was walking pretty far, and I wanted to track how far I was walking, not really how many steps I was actually taking. I really wanted to know how many miles I was traveling, so I started doing that, and then after a while I was like, well, why am I doing it on my phone when my phone's draining battery? I need to listen to music, and it's just gonna run out of battery pretty fast considering how long I'm outside for. I'm outside for a very long time, so I usually like to save as much battery as I can. But with that stuff going on, the health tracking app things going on, listen to music and things like that, of course I'm going to be losing battery that fast. So I said, why don't I get one of those fitness bands? So I indeed got one of those fitness bands, put it on, and that's pretty much how I lost weight. I wanted to see how many steps I could take a day, how long I can travel, and my speed and all that stuff, and that's pretty much how I lost weight. So I went from 260, 250 down to about 155 to 160. My weight fluctuates from day to day. I'm not a consistent weight. I am about 155 to 160 depending on what day you weigh me. I usually don't tend to go over 160. I usually still weigh myself every day because now that I lost weight, trust me, I'm still very, very, very cautious or very paranoid. I never want to go back to the way I was because I realized also, since I'm a person that loves going outside, and when I was fat, it's just not the same thing. Because I remember a lot of times when I was fat and I was walking around outside or playing basketball or whatnot, I was out of breath, I just was tired easily, I was fatigued, I just couldn't last that long. It would really take a toll on me, and since I love going outside, I don't want to go back to the way I was. But now I'm pretty much, like I said, 155 to 160. You may not see this on camera, but I'm definitely way much more smaller than I was. Before this, I was at my 250 to 260. I was in I'm like stuttering, like butchering. I was a shirt size XL 36 waist. And then I went down to a medium 32. So you can see that's about, I think, one or two size decrease, and that's very good. And this is pretty much what I'm supposed to look like. I can probably say I can probably lose another 5 to 10 pounds. That would be even better. But right now I look pretty normal and I look pretty healthy. But the reason I actually wanted to tell you about me losing weight is because I actually changed the way I started eating about a month ago. Now, I primarily was a person that used to pretty much eat anything. Even when I lost weight and even when I was exercising to lose the weight, I was pretty much just eating whatever I wanted. Basically, how I lost weight was I kind of did the simple method. You don't really need to do any tricks to lose weight. So you don't really need to stop eating certain stuff. Like, you don't need to cut carbs. You don't need to cut sugars. There's a lot of tricks people try to lose weight, but the easiest way to lose weight is, first of all, you got to have a good mindset. But second of all, what I did was, besides the mindset, was I just did the common thing: burn more calories than you intake in a day. So for instance, if I'm only eating 1,500 calories and I'm burning 20,000 calories, then of course, or 2,000 calories, excuse me, sorry, I don't want to make it seem like crazy, because 20,000 calories in a day is almost ridiculous. But if I'm eating like 1,500 calories and I'm burning 2,000 calories in a day, then of course I'm going to lose weight over time. It's not going to be instant, but then you will see progress and you will see results over time. It will take a very long time. But what I was saying was, in that time period, I wasn't necessarily not eating certain foods. I was pretty much eating anything I wanted. Granted, I wasn't eating a lot of junk food. I still tried to stay away from the junk food because I know how bad the junk food could be, like chips, ice cream, cake, any desserts or any sweets. I pretty much tried to avoid, because that stuff can rack up on you. But when it comes to the core meals and the core foods, I was still eating pizzas. I was still eating spaghetti. I was still eating pretty much generic food that you would think would hurt you when you're losing weight, but realistically, it's not going to hurt you when you're trying to lose weight, as long as you intake less than you burn. So that's pretty much what I was doing. But last month, getting back to my story, last month was the first time something did not feel right with me. I was actually at a steakhouse eating steak, because I do like steak and I do like meat. My whole life has pretty much been meat. Sure, I'll eat the occasional vegetable here or there or whatnot, but I'm not really a fan of vegetables too much, and I don't eat them on the regular. But a couple of months ago, or last month, can't remember when, but I do know it was just recently anyway, I was at a steak restaurant. I ordered steak. Pretty much my whole plate consisted of me eating steak, ribs, and also wings. So chicken wings, steak and the ribs were primarily what were on my plate, and that's pretty much what I ate that whole day. So that's gotta be like 3,000 calories, or I don't know what it was, but it was an insane amount of food, because right now I'm probably burning more than I eat. Even on the days that I mess up, I still burn more than I eat on most days. I usually only mess up like maybe once a week, or once every other week, or maybe 2 times a week. So it's not enough for me to gain weight, and I'll probably never gain weight just because I don't mess up that much. And since I'm always outside a lot, I really don't have to worry about me messing up. But anyway, after I got done with that meal at that steakhouse, after eating all that night, I pretty much felt super bad. I did not feel good. I felt like I was going to die. It was that bad. I felt bloated. I just felt like I was going to die. I felt like I was going to explode. All the meat intake, maybe the meat was bad that night. I don't know for sure. Or maybe it was me just eating too much meat to where my body just couldn't take it anymore. I don't know what the case was, but pretty much I was just eating too much meat, or it was food poisoning, or I don't know what the case was. But anyway, basically what I'm saying is it was so bad that the next day after me eating meat, I pretty much stopped eating meat. And as of right now, I'm 3 to like 3.5 weeks of not eating meat. I'm pretty much a strict vegetarian. When I say strict, I'm pretty much a strict vegetarian. The reason I say strict, because before when I was fat, I was still actually semi-conscious about my health, because you may have heard this before on my YouTube channel. I've talked about it, but before when I was actually chunky, I was off the sodas and sugary drinks for about 5 to 6 years. I think around 2011 or 2012 was the first time I really got off that, and I stayed to the water. Even when I was fat, I was still on the water. But of course, even though it's good to get off those, and I'm not taking any extra calories by drinking water and things like that, I'm still eating so badly that I'm not going to lose weight, of course. And with not enough exercise, with only some moderate to heavy exercise, I'm not going to lose weight. I was pretty much staying on the water for the most part, so I was pretty much off the water by that point. So right now I'm pretty much a strict vegetarian, and I'm pretty sure I can keep it up, because when it comes to this health stuff like losing weight, or like staying on water or tea, because that's pretty much what I intake now. I pretty much only intake water or tea. For the most part, 99.999% of the time, you'll only see me drinking water everywhere I go. That's primarily the only thing I drink, because it's just my mindset. I just feel good about drinking water. It's good for your body, of course. It's 0 calories. I don't really have to go on and on and on about this whole calorie stuff or whatnot, but pretty much I stay on the water, and I can stay on the water. If I can stay on the water for pretty much about, I would have to say right now, maybe 7 or 8 years. Either way, it's been a very long time since I touched any sugary drink. That's not just including like sodas, that's including like any sports drinks, any energy drinks, or any fruit drinks, or any drinks, any sugary drinks. Pretty much what I'm actually saying there. If I can do that for that long, I'm pretty sure I can stay a vegetarian for the rest of my life. And honestly, I want to talk about my experiences being a vegetarian, because it's been about 3 to 3.5 weeks. Honestly, it is kind of tough at first. I'm not going to lie and say, well, it's easy, because my mindset's been pretty good for most of my life since I've stopped the water. My mindset's been, since I stopped the sugary drinks, my mindset's been pretty good. That is true, but I'm not going to lie. It was tough for quite some time, but after a while, you just get used to it, and you're just so accustomed to it that it just seems kind of normal. And with me losing weight and with me drinking water, it's kind of a no-brainer for me to stick with the vegetarian diet, just because I feel much more safer. And one thing I do care about a lot in my life is health. Health is number one in my life. It's very, very important. Honestly, I'm going to say this right now. If it wasn't for me losing weight, honestly, I wouldn't give one toot about my health. Honestly, I probably would have kept doing what I'm doing. All this stuff pretty much came besides the drinking the whole water or staying off the sugary drinks for that many years. If it wasn't for me losing weight, or maybe I would probably say that whole thing with the steak restaurant, then I probably wouldn't be a vegetarian. Actually though, to be honest with you guys, even before I had that bad experience a couple months ago with the whole steak situation, I was pretty much still trying to watch my health as much as possible. I still stay off like the the sugary stuff, so no sweets, no candy, no ice cream. For the most part, when I lost weight, I still pretty much fixed a lot of things that were wrong with me. I didn't cut the meat right away, but I pretty much had this mentality is if I already lost weight, I don't want to gain weight again. And a lot of these things, like a lot of snacks you eat and a lot of junk food, extra junk food, are just bad for you. They make you gain weight. They can give you... Okay, I'm back on the camera. The camera actually run out of footage, but like I said again, this is going to be a very long video, so just sit tight and listen to me talk. But what I was saying was, I think another reason I'm actually going to stay vegetarian is because, of course, there's a lot of health benefits to doing that and whatnot. But I think another reason that's keeping me going on the vegetarian diet is because a lot of my favorite celebs are actually vegetarian. I'm not going to really name which celebrities I'm talking about, but there are some celebrities out there that are vegan and vegetarian, and I look up to those people. So that's what's also inspiring me to become vegetarian now that I am vegetarian, and I've tried it for about 3 weeks. I think I can stay on it. But back to what I was saying as well, is because I'm like skipping around. I apologize. It's hard to really talk and remember everything you're saying, so a lot of times I'm going to be like skipping around because I can't remember everything I'm talking about, because this is a lot of information. But speaking of why I'm vegetarian instead of vegan, the reason I'm vegetarian instead of vegan is because vegetarian is just much more easier to be instead of being a vegan. When you go to certain restaurants or when you go to certain supermarkets, it's really hard to become vegan. A lot of people will probably disagree with me and tell me, hey, I've been vegan for many years. It's not really hard. It's just harder, and it's a lot of times there's in situations you just can't really be vegan because on some menus and whatnot, or when you go to someone's house or someone's friend's house, you end up, they just don't have like, they only have like dairy products, and what can you do about that? So that's why I choose to be vegetarian, is because it's much more easier for me to eat vegetables and still eat dairy products and cut the meat instead of cutting everything from animals. So that's why I'm vegetarian, because it's much more easier to do. It's so hard to be vegetarian, and I'm not vegetarian. It's so hard to be vegan in my opinion, because there's so many, you're cutting so many options out that it's really hard for you to find options that are available for you. I think if there was more vegan options and it was easier for me to access this type of stuff and things like that, then I would definitely go vegan, and I would really be willing to try that out. But for now, I'm going to be vegetarian, and so far it's been good to me, and so far I've had nothing wrong with it, and I get used to the vegetables and things like that. So overall, that's pretty much it. I'm going to stay a vegetarian. So that's one thing you can know about me now. I'm pretty much a vegetarian, and I don't think I'm going to go back anytime soon. Will I ever go back in the future? I'm not going to say I'm never going to go back to eating meat. I may go back in the future if something happens or I just don't like it, but for now I think I'm going to stick on the vegetarian side, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to move on to something a little bit different that's not related to like health or anything like that. I'm actually going to talk about one of my other passions, because I do have another passion. I don't have too many passions in life, but I do have another passion in life that's not related to video games, or it's not related to tech or anything like that. I've talked about this on my channel as well in one of my get to know me videos. But like I said, some people may have not seen that video, and some people may be new subscribers, so that's why I'm talking about this. But one of my biggest passions in life is riding longboard. Now, if you don't know what a longboard is pretty much the same thing as a skateboard. It's just longer than a skateboard. Honestly, if it wasn't for my sister, then I would not be a longboarder. And honestly, if it wasn't for me losing weight, then I may have not wanted to try it too, because there was a lot of things I was self-conscious about trying, just because I didn't want people to judge me. Also, of course, since I have social anxiety, that also comes with it. So being fat and having social anxiety at the same time did make me want to try a lot of different experiences. So I'm glad I lost weight, and I'm glad my sister introduced me to longboarding. She's not really a longboarder, really. She has tried it in the past, but it's not really her go-to thing for the most part. But she did end up getting a longboard, and I did get to try longboarding, and I love longboarding. Now, I don't do anything crazy. You may know about carving, and you may know about dancing on longboards, or some tricks. You can do tricks, you can do carving, you can do dancing on longboards, but I don't really do that stuff when it comes to longboarding. Usually when I'm longboarding, I usually just like to go around town cruising, and I don't do anything crazy. I don't like tearing up people's property or anything like that. I usually just like cruising around on sidewalks, in parks, in neighborhoods, things like that. So I usually do the legal thing, and that's pretty much my thing, but I love it. So anytime the weather is nice outside, for the most part, if you know the weather's nice outside, then you'll pretty much see me outside longboarding. That's my passion in life. I don't know if I like that more than video games and tech and things like that. They might be pretty much equal to me at the same time, but there's just something about me just being outdoors, riding a board, pushing. It's very nice, and it's also good exercise, of course. That'll keep my weight down, but overall it's just really fun to me. I remember last year was the first time I actually joined a longboarding club. We actually have a longboarding club in my actual city, and that was a very fun experience. There was probably about, I would say, 15 or 20 people in that longboarding club, so it was nice. I got to meet people. Of course, since I have social anxiety, it wasn't the funnest experience. I wish I didn't have social anxiety. It would have probably been an even funner experience, but it was still a very fun experience anyway. And we didn't really do anything too crazy. We pretty much just went in neighborhoods, and we went to the park and things like that. We really didn't do anything too crazy to where we would have the police called on us or have anything like that. But I am a big longboarder, and recently I did pick up a new board. So right now I have two boards. I still have the one my sister got me, because the thing about these, which are nice, especially if you're not doing tricks or you're not carving, if you're just cruising around, then a lot of these longboards will pretty much last years and years and years. And that's the great thing about these longboards. They'll last years and years and years, depending on where you ride them, how you ride them, and if you don't do tricks, carving and things like that, then these things will pretty much last forever. Now, the brand I'm actually using for my longboard, well, the one I currently have now is not really a longboard, so it's not that long. It's pretty much on like a penny board style or like a nickel board style, but it kind of is considered a longboard because it's still in that class. It's not really a skateboard. It's not really meant for doing tricks. It's more for cruising around. So it's kind of like a mini cruiser. They are called mini cruisers or mini longboards. That's what you can call them. But I did get another one, and the brand I'm actually rocking right now is Lanyards. So I have two boards from Lanyards, the one my sister gave me and the one I decided to buy again. Now, of course, you may be saying, aren't you biased if your sister gave you a Lanyards board? Don't you want your boards to match? That is kind of true, but recently Lanyards also did end up having a new policy. I think they started this policy in 2016. If you buy a board from Lanyards, every board bought from Lanyards, they will actually end up planting a tree for every board bought. So one board, one tree. That's their policy. And they explain why. It helps the environment, and one tree actually builds 60 boards. Now, if you don't know anything about Lanyards, Lanyards is an actual company that actually I think started in Canada. I think they're from, I don't remember where in Canada, but they're somewhere in Canada. I think they have 2 locations now, and I absolutely love their boards. And I did end up getting a mini cruiser, mini longboard, penny board, nickel board. It's somewhere around there, but I absolutely love this thing. I've been running it now for about 3 weeks because I recently bought it about 3 weeks ago, and it's been holding up very good. I will actually right now show you a picture of the board. I have the board on me, but it's just a little bit too big, and I don't really want to put it on camera because it's kind of hard to put it in front of the camera. So I'm going to be showing you a picture from Lanyards of the board I have. So go ahead and check out this picture of the board I currently have from Lanyards. Diabetes. So as you can see right there, that is the board I currently have from Lanyards. The actual series is from Lanyards, if you are curious, because they do name their series of boards. It's actually called the Dinghy board. So it's called the Lanyard Dinghy board. That's the name of the board if you're looking for what type of board it is from Lanyards. It's called the Dinghy board, and that thing rides like a dream. It's honestly a very, very stable ride. You would think it might not be too stable because it's a mini cruiser. It's 28 something inches, but it rides like a dream, and it's a very nice ride for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's one of my other passions in life. The one thing I do hate about longboarding or riding these mini cruisers or anything related to a skateboard, pretty much anything with wood and four wheels, one thing I don't like, which does kind of suck, and I do get this from time to time where I'm outside cruising around different places and some people give you a bad look, or some people say like, hey, go to the skate park or something, because yeah, as you know, a lot of skaters, not just, well, anyone who pretty much rides a board, whether it be a longboard, whether it be a skateboard, a lot of these people, as you know, like tearing up property, like doing tricks in places they shouldn't be, like destroying different buildings and things like that. And I get that. When people see those people, they stereotype a lot of skaters or a lot of longboarders into this class to where they think all of them like being bad and like destroying property and like doing illegal things. But I'm not one that likes doing illegal things. It just sucks when I'm outside, especially, like I said, going back to the whole social anxiety thing. It doesn't help that people always say, go to the skate park, or you're tearing up property, or boo, or someone like before gave me like a thumbs down, like, what is this? I'm not doing anything illegal. It's fun to ride. You don't understand if you're not doing anything illegal. Have you even rode before? Riding these things are just very fun. It's not really fair to say that, well, you're riding this thing, you must be one of those bad bandit kids, those bad kids that destroy property and things like that. That's one thing I hate with it, and it's pretty much gonna suck when you ride these things. You're always gonna have that you're always gonna have that thing behind you, and a lot of people are just gonna assume that you're one of those people who likes tearing up things. That's just what you get when you ride these longboards, when you ride these skateboards, which pretty much suck. Now that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to touch up on some different things, like what's going on in my life, what's my passions, and things like this. Honestly, I would love to do another video like this, just because I tend to do a lot of tech and I do a lot of gaming videos, and sometimes it's nice to go out of the way to talk about what's going on in my life or things that I'm passionate in my life. Like I said again, I don't want to be one of those people that you just come for the tech stuff and you come for the video game stuff. I want you to get to know me behind the camera, and that's cool if you don't want to get to know me. If you just want to get here for the tech stuff and for the video game stuff, I totally understand that, and I totally respect your decision. But if you want to get to know me behind the camera, then feel free to click on these videos. I appreciate it. It's nice to get to know you, and there's a lot of other YouTubers which I really look up to that do this kind of thing. They don't just talk about like video games. They don't talk about like tech. They talk about some of their life experiences. They talk about things, they talk about some of their childhood memories and things like this. These are videos that really do get me excited as well. That's one reason why I wanted to do this video as well. I recently watched some of these videos from other YouTubers. They're talking about some of their life experiences. They're talking about like things they love to do and things like that. So those are things that really inspire me to do a video like that. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.